Hi gang, just wanted to stop in today and let you know that, hey, I did not make any progress on a T-34 yesterday. I have a condition, it's called gout. I'm sure many of you have heard about that. And I don't know what really gets gout wound up in me, but it was pretty wound up yesterday in my knee. So I had a heck of a time walking. That was not fun. But what I wanted to do today, I'm actually back to walking. It still hurts pretty darn good, but I'm going to muddle through it, and I've got to get this T-34 done. So, but first I wanted to show you the L-39. We're pretty ripped into her, as you can see behind me. But I'm going to do a quick walk around on that, and then we'll get moving on getting the rest of this T-34 put together and get the annual done on it. And there's also a Cirrus behind it that you'll see me probably zipping over there and doing work on that too at the same time. So stay tuned. But first things first, we'll get to walk around on this airplane. Okay, enjoy this. All right, let me get around here. This is an Aero Veducci L-39. We've been working on it on and off since I think 2009, somewhere around there. Went in for a paint job. It has a beautiful paint job on it. So just let me just show you the Albatross on this. I put my hand and rub it. There, you can't feel any paint lines at all. This thing has just an incredible clear coat on it. You can't. It's just all smooth. It's really a nice job. Here's the blowdown bottles in it right here. Nitrogen. Well, I don't know if it's blowdown bottle. It's just nitrogen. I'm not working on this today. My guys are. This is our oxygen. You can see it's all check writing on there. Around here, we've got a new style battery. They throw way up in the nose to kind of offset the weight from the back, because this thing has a long snout. This is a long, big airplane. You see the canopies open to the sides on it. A lot of canopies just raise up, like on an angle. They'll raise up. This flops over to the side. Both of them. So the rear and the front both flop over. Here's some more bottles in here. Avionics. Getting access to some of the controls in here. And this is the inlet to the engine. You can see the engine. It's way back in there. There, you can see the nub of the front of the engine. So yeah, we've blanketed it because we've got to walk on this wing to get to all this stuff up there. Yeah, the owner had this put on the side. It's really cool. Digital paint up on the tail. Pitot mast, tip tanks. A lot of these guys, they race these things at Reno, and they have the tip tanks taken off for that. But for this one here, it gets flown, goes to air shows, and then is in air shows and stuff. So need fuel. There's not a lot of capacity inside the wings. You can see here's. And I haven't worked on this in a while myself. I used to know what all this stuff was, but I don't. This is I believe it's the generator. I really don't know. I shouldn't even speculate what it is, because I don't know anymore. I can figure it out if I was working on it, but I have my guys working on it. See in here, oh, this is the generator here. So whatever that was up there, it's probably part of the air start system. She's got a lot of stuff jammed in there. This is the engine up in here. accessories. And then we get to the top of it here. There you go. Yeah, it's something. That much I can tell you. We pulled a lot of the parts off the access controls and get to lube everything and put eyes on it, everything. You can see the attach point for the stab, forward attach. And coming around, come right up the rear end. This is the business end here. She's all polished and shiny. Yeah, here's who did the paint. So if you're actually, I don't think these guys are in business anymore. I think they actually shut down a few years ago. But boy, did they do a nice job on this. I guess for one of their last ones, this was like the creme de la creme. But yeah, so this is the L-39. Adam is spearheading it, and Bill, who's my chief inspector, he's working on it, and also Sean is on it too. So we got a good crew on this one here right now. I know the boys are wrapping up this 182, finishing putting that together, and they got a seat to put in it. We got to go out and do some runs on it. The 172 over there is finished, and then me and Mark will be getting after the T-34 and the Cirrus. So hope you enjoyed that little tour of the L-39, and the next thing you're going to see is the work going on that Cirrus and the T-34. So we'll catch you later. Okay, so it was brought to my attention that I'm making videos and everything's in hyperlapse while putting the engine together, and you guys aren't really seeing what we're doing. So I'll show you a little bit about what we're doing. Let me start back here because Mark spent the day yesterday putting the rudder on. Basically, there was this mouse on here. That was Goering's mouse from World War II. And we had pulled the rudder off, and that went up to Myers Aviation in Oshkosh, and they took it off. They're going to finish taking the rest of it off here, but he got the rudder on yesterday, so she's ready to go as far as that's concerned. Still have some lubing to do on this thing. Here's controls. You can see that's elevator right there, moving that up and down. Cables in here control the rudder. So these are wing attach points here. That's where the bolts go that hold the wings on. This is the aft spar, and then this is the forward main spar. Again, here's the Cirrus. We're doing a lot of work on that. Trying to get that out. We're just waiting for parts on it at this point. We got this is the old flap. She took some damage right here on the spar on the flap, so we got a flap in. I already have that changed out. Looks pretty darn good. And this, we're waiting on the exhaust to come in. Seat belt and inflator controller, EMA controller to come in. And then we can get that thing out of here. This is full access panels into the wing of the T-34. This is fuel tank underneath here. This is where you fill it. And this is the sending unit that for the fuel gauge. And looks like we might have a little bit of a leak on there, so we'll probably get that cleaned up and get a new gasket on there. Battery compartment, and then here's the engine we've been working on. So back here, all these hoses were disconnected. So when we bring a hose on, we put it on, tighten it, then I put some inspectors lacquer paint on here so everybody knows that it's been tightened and we're done with it. Mark did go around and double checked all of it. And there's the blanking plate, or this is a vacuum pump, and you can see that's all been torqued down and torque seal put on it. More fuel lines going on. Basically everything that we touch as far as putting on, we'll put torque seal on it so that other guys will know. There's another fuel line. This is where it comes through. This return line. Fuel in, going through a transducer, comes around and goes into the fuel distributor. These lines here, this is called a constant flow fuel injection system. So these lines flow and go into these little guys here. Right here, that's fuel injector. It's not like a car. It doesn't open and squirt. It's a constant flow. So basically what it's doing is it's filling up the, there's like a chamber here, induction chamber, intake chamber, and then when the valve opens, it all goes in, atomizes, and it's ready to go. You can see on this we have shielded spark plugs. This spark plug, you can't see the ceramic on it. This nut right here and this keeper is all part of the shielding, which protects from any radio interference. Right now, underneath here, I'm working on pulling this drain plug off because we have a quick drain that'll go on there to drain the oil out without having to pull a plug every time. This is the fuel control unit. This is the throttle side. So this down here, this rod end will get hooked up to that throttle. This just rotates back and forth, and that opens up the butterfly valve for the throttle. The exhaust will go up on here, and we've got EGT probes that have to go in yet. I put this new induction, this coupler here. That drain was broke off. You have to have the drain because the fuel gets in there. It's got to have a way to get out, otherwise it's going to suck in too much, or it could backfire, catch on fire, or something like that. We don't want that. So that's what we do. We still got to get our engine mount bolts torqued. We had to order some new ones, so those are in. Mark and I will be working on that here in a little bit. This one actually will go up. That's just kind of hanging in there right now. I got a bolt through it, so we're good. Oops, sorry about that. She flipped around on me. But hey, I'm here, still cranking away. Here's a attenuator, so the exhaust goes down there. This helps in cooling the engine because the exhaust only goes in this about maybe 4 or 5 inches, and then what it does is that exhaust flowing out draws air up through. This is air-cooled engine, draws air up through the cylinders and helps with cooling. Somebody once told me it provides like 6% thrust. I don't know if that's the case or not. So Mark and I were just working on getting the alternator installed. We have a new gear installed on it. There's a bulletin that we had to comply with to make sure that gear was put on correctly. This is a propeller governor. This is what controls the pitch on it. That needs to get hooked up still. You can see Mark went around, left me a little note. He said he wants this underneath this bracket to prevent chafing. And what he's talking about is this hose right here, this line is kind of sitting on this clamp for the fuel line. And he doesn't like that, so he wrote me a note on that. And that's fine, because we always have redundancy, and we always have each other watching our backs. This here, he put a tag on it. He says my hard line here for the breather needs to go a little more forward, so I'm going to loosen this clamp, try to jam her in a little further. Down here, he left me a blue tape. He wants, it's hard to see, but he wants that clamp right back down there. He wants that clamp moved forward towards this B-nut right here, and that'll keep that cable away from rubbing on this nut. So I gotta loosen that up, slide it forward. That'll give us a little more space to keep that away. Yeah, other than that, I think we're looking pretty good on this. This is, it's not overly complex, but there's just a lot of bits and pieces to go on. We still have the exhaust has to go on. There's the prop nuts, a bunch of hardware still has to get installed. We have right here, these heat shields go on the exhaust. That just protects the, actually it goes on the induction system, the intake system, and where the exhaust drops down, it keeps the heat off of the intake. Yeah, so that's it, man. We're cranking away, getting her done. We got the prop, has been overhauled, so we got that's got to go on. After I change that drain, we'll be putting the prop on. I'm getting oil in it, getting the prop on, and hopefully, I know I'm a day behind already because of my knee, but I'm feeling pretty good right now. But we're just going to keep plugging away. So we'll show you a little more on what we're doing as far as the airframe side and engine side. Catch you later. Everyone, Playing Safe Sam here. Well, it's the end of the day, pretty close to it. It's the end of the day for me. My knee is trying to kill me today. So I've been walking it off and taking my meds. So at least I can, if I had to kick somebody, kick them, I could probably do it, I think. Anyway, we made a lot of progress on the T-34 today, so I'm happy about that. But it's about time for me to probably think about heading home. I was going to give you a quick tour of the other side of our hangar. We have the big side, and then we have this little side. We call this the Zulu hangar. This is where we keep the little 150 is in here. We keep some of our equipment over here. Obviously motorcycles. It's my daughter's motorcycle. Yeah, it's a 883 that she has. She rides. Got my cleaning supplies because we do a lot of cleaning. This is our 1967 Beechcraft Musketeer. We bought this thing in 2008. It's been sitting for about 2 years. We had some trim problems with it. Really, we had to take apart a lot of the airplane to fix that. That kind of slowed us down. But then my friend said, hey, while you're doing all that, why don't we do a radio package on it? So I said, oh, sure, let's do that. So ended up putting radios in it. It did turn out really nice. It's a fully IFR airplane right now. We're going to, well, as you can probably see, or did see, the engine is gone. Pulled that off a few weeks ago and drove that down to my friends at Papa Grove for overhaul, because they are the only ones I trust. It's Papa Grove Aeromotive. We recommend all of our customers go there, and they've done a lot of work on this engine. This airplane sat for 14 years before we got a hold of it. We did a top on it, did a bunch of stuff to the engine. She ran darn near 600 hours with very little problems. But she was getting tired, and when I pulled the cylinders off it before I took it off, and sure enough, the cam needs replaced along with some lifters. They got corrosion on them. But yeah, this is our Musketeer. I cannot wait to take you guys flying in this. This airplane was so much fun. So well, and I'll take you flying on that one too. And I fly a 182, and I'll be flying another. My buddy just bought a 172. I'll be flying that as well. So I'll take you guys for rides and all those things. Here's my car. There's my 2012 Mercedes. This is my 19. I did a review on. If you didn't catch that, go ahead and it's kind of hokey, but go ahead and take a look at it. You get my opinion of this car. So now we're coming in here. I wanted to show you something because I just found out that we got the new exhaust in for the Cirrus from Tornado Alley. And I mean, look at this beauty. Woo! It's not going to look like this for long. It'll start looking like this after a little while, but that's one heck of a piece of engineering right there. That's nice. And on this one here, I mean, if we get down in here, this is where the crack was on the old one. So that's gone. Adam is here. He's getting ready to put it on. Hey, Adam. Hey, guys. So he's going to get that exhaust on today. Mark's going to do a little more work on the T-34, and I'm going to bail out of here. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Hopefully we get that T-34 engine finished up and running, get this annual done, and go get this thing flying. All right, take it easy. See ya.